Hello, welcome to my channel. I am GenX SpawnPoint, and I don't really know what I am actually at this point. I mean, can you believe this past week? I am very upset over how the firing of Gina Carano was handled. I don't understand cancel culture. I never have, and actually I hope I never do. It used to be that tolerance was not a bad word. Tolerance meant that you could live in peace with other people who had different beliefs, whether it be political or religious or anything. I mean, I have friends all over the political spectrum. I have family all over the political spectrum. But I don't understand the mindset of wanting to utterly destroy someone over words they said on the internet. I mean, I've had people hurt me emotionally, physically, and I've hurt people. I have done things that have hurt the people I love, and I feel very fortunate that, on the whole, most of them are very forgiving. And as for the people who have hurt me, I certainly don't wish for their destruction. I certainly wouldn't try to get them fired. So I just don't understand. I guess please pardon my naivete, because I don't understand cancel culture. I find it terrible and frightening. Anyway, I should say that in spite of this past week, I have every intention of going forward with The Mandalorian and enjoying every moment of it. I'm not going to let this ruin The Mandalorian for me. But it does make me... Okay, you know what? You're going to get a little bit of my Star Wars rant. I'm going to put chapters down in the bottom, so if you just want to skip over this, then go right ahead, go to the reaction, avoid the crazy old lady's Star Wars rant, but here it comes. So, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you actually want to hear what my opinion on this whole thing is. When Disney bought Lucasfilm, I was excited. I thought that this was great because I love Star Wars and I love Disney. And I'm like, oh, it's two great tastes that taste great together, just like Reese's peanut butter cups. And so I was excited. I couldn't wait to see what Disney would do with Star Wars. Especially since, they were like, oh yes, George Lucas, we're going to take care of your characters. We're going to do right by them. So I have kids that I was very excited to raise up as Star Wars fans. I showed them the original trilogy on my VHS tapes that I bought 30 years ago. So these movies were the original trilogy before George Lucas went in with the CGI. But I remember showing them to my kids, and they loved Star Wars. It was so great. It was like, yes, I have a Star Wars loving family. This is fantastic. And I love Disney. I grew up on Disney. I was a child of the 70s. So instead of VHS tapes of the movies, and the Disney vault, I had those big storybook records that would tell the story of the movie and had a book inside. And this was back when seeing a Disney movie in the theaters was a big deal, because you couldn't, unless they actually went through and re-released the movie in the theaters. I remember it was a huge deal when Fantasia was released. My dad took me to see Fantasia in the theaters, and I remember that very clearly. In fact, my very first movie that I have any recollection of was seeing Cinderella at the drive-in theater. I think I was about 3 years old, and the only clear memory I have of that is being really tired and really cranky. And then I loved going to Disneyland. I went to Disneyland many times when I was a kid, and then as I became an adult, I went when I was in high school, I went when I was in college. My mom, she was an impulsive travel person. She just loved to, if it was a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend, she'd say, road trip! And we were all like, yay! Except for my dad, who hates road trips, but he did it anyway because he loves my mom. So we'd have a 3-day weekend and my mom would say, hey, let's drive to California and go to Disneyland. And we're all, yay! So it was fun. And then, when I had kids, I was like, I can't wait to take you guys to Disneyland. All of my associations with Disney and Star Wars were positive. They were, family bonding things, they were fun things that I could share with my kids. So Disney buys Lucasfilm, and I'm excited. And then Force Awakens trailers hit the internet, and I am so excited I can barely breathe. Especially at that shot of the X-Wings skimming over the water. Oh, seeing Han Solo, Princess, or General Leia. And there was no Luke, and I was like, oh, they're probably just saving him for introduction into the middle of the movie so that, all the fans will just go wild screaming when he shows up. But no, Luke doesn't even have one speaking line in the first movie. And, okay, so we went in knowing that Han Solo was going to die, because we knew that Harrison Ford wanted to leave the franchise. So we're like, okay, Han Solo is going to go out in a blaze of glory. He's going to sacrifice his life, saving his friends from this terrible threat. No. Instead, he's lightsaber fodder for his estranged son, who decides that killing his deadbeat dad is the final step he needs to take to fully turning to the dark side. So the kids and I are walking back to the car, and my son turns to me and he says, I hate Star Wars. That right there is the unforgivable sin, because Disney made my son hate Star Wars. And it's not because Han Solo died, it was because how he died. They turned Han Solo into this deadbeat dad who abandoned Leia when things got rough. All that time that he was fighting for the rebellion, that Jabba put a bounty on his head. And then he put off going to pay off Jabba to get the bounty off his head because he couldn't abandon his friends. Han Solo, he was loyal. They're on Hoth, and Luke is out there freezing, and the sun is going down, and Han Solo is like, I'm getting on my Tauntaun, and I'm going to go out and find him. And the guard is like, your Tauntaun will freeze before you reach the first marker, then I'll see you in hell. And then he goes off, and he finds Luke. He saves his life by cutting open his Tauntaun, who did freeze. I mean, the thing about Han Solo is that he was a scoundrel, and we loved that about him. But he was a scoundrel with a heart of gold, and that is what we loved about him. Because you knew that he would do anything for his friends, and that he loved Leia, and that was firmly established by the time Return of the Jedi came around. So, no, we're not upset that Han Solo died. We're upset at the way they decided to take him out. And then there's Luke. So The Last Jedi would have me believe that sometime between the end of Return of the Jedi and The Last Jedi, that Luke became this embittered old hermit who cut himself off from the Force, couldn't even tell when his friend died, and we hear the story of why he did this from two perspectives. First, we see it from Ben's perspective. We see him wake up with Luke looking like a crazed maniac wielding a lightsaber over him, and Ben freaks. So, he brings the ceiling down and destroys the Jedi Academy and kills all the apprentices. And then we see it from Luke's perspective. And Luke tells how he could feel the darkness in Ben. So he went to check on him. And when he checked on him, he got these visions of the future of Ben doing these horrible, horrible things. And he realized for just a split second, he thought, oh my gosh, I have to kill my nephew. So that he takes it and draws his lightsaber on his sleeping nephew. I mean, even if he wasn't wielding it like a maniac, he still turned on the lightsaber and is thinking, the thought is crossing his mind, I have to kill my nephew. And okay, yes, he says, and then I was ashamed. You're telling me that the Luke Skywalker, who turned himself into Darth Vader in the Return of the Jedi, who refused to fight him because he sensed that kernel of good in Darth Vader, his father, he would not fight him. He did not want to kill Darth Vader. He had to be provoked into a fight. And we're not talking about Darth Vader having the potential to do terrible things. Darth Vader had already slaughtered who knows how many. We're talking Darth Vader, destroyer of worlds, slaughterer of countless. And Luke wouldn't fight him. And the Emperor is goading him, strike down your father, take your place at my side. And Luke refuses. And the Emperor's like, look, I've sprung this brilliant trap on your friends. Look, here, out this nice little Death Star window. You can see them all dying. Oh, can't you feel their pain through the Force? Isn't that great? Don't you think you should just give in to the dark side and kill your dad and join me? Even then, Luke doesn't draw his lightsaber. It's only when Darth Vader senses that he has a sister and then threatens to turn her instead. That is when Luke finally is pushed beyond endurance. And even then, he realizes what he's doing. He drops his lightsaber. He refuses to fight. The Emperor electrocutes him. And Darth Vader, that kernel of good that he wanted to destroy the Emperor. He wanted Luke to be by his side to rule the galaxy. So he picks up Palpatine and he throws him down the shaft. That's one of my favorite moments in the entire trilogy, is when Darth Vader finally rebels against his dark master to save his son. Even then, Luke is like, I'm not going to leave you. I've got to save you. So you're telling me that the Luke from Return of the Jedi drew a lightsaber on Ben because of the potential for evil. Yes, he could already sense the darkness in him. Oh, but he had a vision of the future. Let's see, what did Yoda say in Empire Strikes Back when Luke says, my friends, I saw them in a city in the clouds and they were being hurt. And he asks Yoda, are they going to die? And Yoda says, difficult to see. Always in motion is the future. And we know that visions of the future can be misleading. I mean, that was Palpatine's whole method of turning Anakin to the dark side, was that he was seeing visions of the future of Padme dying, and he was trying to save her from that fate. And because he trusted in those visions, he ended up making it a self-fulfilling prophecy. And Luke knew this, so you can't tell me, you cannot convince me that the Luke from Return of the Jedi lost all of that faith in the goodness of people. I mean, he found goodness in Darth Vader. And you're telling me that he lost that ability to see the good in people from Return of the Jedi to when he felt the darkness in his nephew? Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that he could not reach that point of being the embittered island hermit, but I am saying that you need to show me the path, okay? You need to show me him Breaking Bad, for lack of a better analogy. I mean, I want the full Walter White treatment for Luke. If you're going to convince me that he went from Return of the Jedi to The Last Jedi and had such a vast alteration of his personality. I mean, even with Walter White, he started out being vain and jealous, and all it took was that nudge. If you want me to believe that, you need to show me. And I'm sorry, but you didn't convince me with The Last Jedi, with that pulling the lightsaber on Ben moment. Because that's bullcrap. You gotta give me more story than that. And you didn't. So I can't accept it. I can't believe it. And I think what was done to Luke is nothing less than character assassination. So I want to see the goodness in people like Luke did. And I want people to see the good in me in spite of mistakes that I've made in my life. Not to the extent Darth Vader did, but still. I don't see what's so terrible about seeing the good in people and forgiving them for a mistake. Which brings me back to cancel culture. I don't understand hating someone so much over a difference of opinion that you feel that you have to destroy them, ruin their livelihood, destroy any chance they might have of working in their preferred industry. I don't get it. So, after all that, I am now going to watch The Mandalorian and remember why I loved Star Wars in the first place. Because this is a show made by people who love what I feel made Star Wars amazing. What I feel made it a cultural icon. So, episode 7 is called Reckoning. Reckoning does not sound like a positive thing. It sounds like debt's coming due. It sounds like it's time to pay the piper for whatever you've managed to get away with. Without further ado, I'm going to put on my glasses so that I can see. And let's watch episode 7 of The Mandalorian, The Reckoning.
You keep the child, and I will have your name cleared with the guild. For a man of honor should not be forced to live in exile. I await your arrival with optimism.
This just reeks of a trap. Is it worth the risk? I guess that's the question you gotta ask yourself. I'll take that as a big yes. And here's the woman of the hour. I am going to miss her, but I am going to enjoy every single moment that she is still in the show. Oh, she is just having a great time. Oh.
For some work? I thought you were a veteran.
Come back soon.
He's not a local warlord. He's Imperial.
I'm in.
There, you got her.
Pick one.
Oh, she gets access to the weapons
Not
vault.
particularly. Organ. They'll keep sending hunters. The kid will never be safe until the imp is dead. Not really.
That little spy.
That's why I'm bringing you.
What? What are you doing? He doesn't want to go back.
We need someone to watch that thing.
Oh, this place.
Would anyone care for some tea?
Please, no, fast. He will not.
Oh.
Requires patience.
Oh! No, don't, no squishing the lizards. Nice.
Is it still a hunter?
No, but it will protect.
What are you going to do?
Tea.
Well, she took it.
I got you.
Care to double the bet?
What are you doing? No!
No, stop! We're friends. Kara is my friend.
That is not okay.
Very curious.
Curious? It almost killed me. Yet somehow you walk free.
I bought my freedom through the skill of my hands and the labor of 3 of your human lifetimes.
That's a long time.
Do not test.
Can you pad this container so the child can sleep better?
I shall fabricate a better one. Then perhaps this dropper can see how one can win their freedom with the skill of one's hands.
Well, it shouldn't be a long job anyway. You take out the head in, the rest will win like that.
Speaking from experience. Oh yeah, you're looking real trustworthy there.
Fine. At least cover your tattoo. Trust me.
Uh-huh. Famous last words. I don't think those are Minox. Are those? They're like pterodactyls. Oh no, not the blurg.
Hold still. They got you good.
That's kind of an understatement.
Bad. The poison's spreading fast.
Poison?
So this is how it happens. Wait.
Finally. Let's see what he can do.
Trying to eat me.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'd say that's better than a Bacta tank in a pinch. Oh. Not even a scar. That is... Yeah. Now what are you gonna do?
You think you're having second thoughts?
I guess this is it.
something you should know.
Yeah.
The plan was to kill you and take the kid. But after what happened last night, I couldn't go through with it.
Oh.
You tried to run, but where did it get you?
This is ridiculous.
Perhaps you should let him speak.
Quill, ever the voice of reason. Oh.
I'll give you 20 credits for the helmet.
Not a chance. That's going on my wall.
Go with it. Go ahead.
That slow look, like, what?
There are more than fortuners.
Yeah.
Foreguarded the client. Not anymore here in town.
Oh, that's a little detail you neglected to mention.
No crash. I must take this call.
Okay, it's good he's getting the handcuffs off.
This is bad. You said 4.
Well, there are more. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
You may want to check again.
Oh! I could see daylight through that blaster hole. And the droid is just like, I just want to serve drinks. Moff Gideon, who's this guy? Look how nice and shiny that armor is. Is that a Star Tours vehicle?
This is bad.
Quill, are you back to the ship yet? Are you there? Do you copy? Are you back to the ship yet?
No? That's not good. Oh! That's really not good. Oh my gosh, it's Gus!
You have something I want.
Quill, do you copy? Quill.
It means more to me than you will ever know.
He is really good at playing the bad guy. No. No.
Are you there? Do you copy?
Are you kidding me? I am not okay. Three human lives of indentured servitude to be gunned down by a biker scout. But he died protecting that baby. Right, so that was The Reckoning. I have nothing more to say, except I am going to immediately watch episode 8 now. So I will see you then.